Hello, hello. Welcome to the late night number 102. Should be starting in a couple of seconds here. So don't go anywhere. Give me 1 second. Looks like we're running into some difficulties here. All right. Okay. Give me 1 second. How's it going, everyone? PrimeTimeWizardTv here for the late night number 102. 102 late nights later, and we're still going. Yes, again, you know what time it is, guys. The late night. This is the #1 online event right now for the Pokemon trading card game, and this is the only place where you can win a trip to Yokohama, Japan from the comfort of your own home. We're streaming the top 8 right now, just waiting for a couple of games. But looks like we do have one up here. It's going to be Honey Badger against Hazeo. Let's go ahead and get into the game. All right. Again, it's going to be Honey Badger V8 against Hazeo. This is top 8 of the late night, number 102, I believe. Yeah, again, this is a late night top 8 out of 280 players. Not too bad there. Looks like it's going to be Arceus Duraludon against Meloetta. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Again, Turbo. Well, I don't know what you would call the... I guess you call it Meloetta, right? Meloetta, again, a very powerful Pokemon, able to attack turn 1. This is somehow the newer version of the Mew VMAX deck, popularized, of course, from the Hartford Regional Championship. This is the deck that was able to go all the way to take the Hartford Regional Championship, and it's very, very powerful for sure. But how strong is it going to be against Arceus Duraludon? I would have to say pretty good, especially if you're going first. Let's see here now what Honey Badger has for us. Again, starting out with the Colorless Experiment, of course, get to find 3 cards. Nest Ball, I'd have to guess, would be one of the prime targets there. Maybe grab the Double Turbo or the Escape Rope. Both are good. We do have Energy in hand. Looks like that is going to be the grab there. And we only have 1 Arceus in play at the moment. That is very, very scary. Looks like we are prioritizing, though, grabbing the Umbreon V. This is a little bit risky, but I can get behind this. It looks like we're going to go for a big Trinity Charge here. Again, Trinity Charge, able to load up 3 energies into any Pokemon V. So we might be not a bad first turn, especially going second. This is just us threatening the Mew VMAX deck, saying, hey, you know what? Yes, you're gonna take a knockout next turn, but I'm gonna make it tough. I'm gonna make the decision. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make it a tough decision for sure, because again, Umbreon V evolves to Umbreon VMAX, which does 160 damage, which is just enough to take a knockout on a new VMAX. Or we keep Arceus, that can evolve into Arceus V-Star, which again has the Star Birth ability, which is one of the most powerful V-Star powers in the game, right? But let's see what Hazeo has in store for us. Goes for the Cram-O-Matic, is gonna be heads. You know, if you're always gonna flip heads, I think new VMAX is just gonna be the most powerful deck in the world. Again, Cram-O-Matic, very powerful card where you discard an item card, flip a heads. If heads, you get anything you want. Absolutely powerful for you to thin your hand and just get more draws. Right now, there's only 3 Pokemon in play, so Fusion Strike system not really getting the full effect there. Goes for the Escape Rope. That means the Umbreon V forced to the active. Very threatened here right now. Technoblast only doing 190 damage because of that double turbo energy. Has to find 1 damage modifier here. Gets a 3rd Genesect. The more Genesects, the better. Draws 2 cards off this Fusion Strike system. There's the Power Tablet. That means that is a knockout there onto the Umbreon V. Let's see what else they have in store. If they can't get anything else, that is fine. Cross Fusion Strike. Technoblast takes the knockout there on the Umbreon V. Hazeo takes the first 2 prizes here of the top 8 in late night, but Honey Badger is not out of it just yet. Arceus V can put in some pressure, can evolve into Arceus V-Star right now. Hazeo has nothing else besides that Mew VMAX. So right now we're going to put damage on that Mew. And again, it did just attack with Technoblast. That means they cannot attack again next turn unless, of course, Hazeo plays a switch. Right now, Chorus Experiment, a lot riding on it. You find an Ultra Ball. No Ultra Ball here off the Chorus Experiment. No Arceus V-Star. No energy. It might be another turn. Yeah, it might be another turn of just Trinity Nova. This is not what you want to do here. You want to put in the pressure. You want to start attacking. Because again, Trinity Nova is just way more powerful than Trinity Charge for sure. Looks like we're opting to grab the Duraludon here again. You can go 2 routes. Right, when you're playing this Arceus Duraludon Umbreon deck, you could go the aggressive route where you're trying to attack with Umbreon VMAX, taking 1-hit knockouts on Mew Vs or Mew VMAXs because they are weak to dark. Or you can go the slow and steady route where you're doing 220 damage with Duraludon VMAX, but you have access to the Skyscraper ability. Skyscraper, of course, a very powerful ability, as this Pokemon cannot be damaged by Pokemon that has special energy attached, and Mew VMAX only plays special energy. So technically Duraludon VMAX is a very safe Pokemon to have. Almost as if it's almost checkmate if Hazeo has no path to the peak. I'm checking their deck right now. They only play 1 path. Right? That 1 path is in the prizes and they can't draw into it. Evolving into Duraludon VMAX is as good as saying, I win this game. So that might be what that might be what the Arceus player is playing towards. All right, let's see what they can do here. Looks like Trinity Charge was just played there. Not to full effect, unfortunately. It looks like we are going to find the Meloetta. Meloetta, another attacker here that can definitely put in some pressure. If they get all the Fusion Strike energies, they can do upwards of 280 damage, which is pretty big. You pair that with Path of the Peak, that is one way to take a knockout on Duraludon. But of course, the better way to take a knockout on this Duraludon is just to attack it right here, right now, before it evolves. Because unfortunately, Duraludon V does not share the same ability as Duraludon VMAX. A little bit of a slower start here by Honey Badger, unfortunately. But again, you give an inch, and Mew VMAX definitely takes a foot. Crabomatic being played. Now, if they have a Lesser Sparkle, they can attack here with the Meloetta for 280 damage, which would be absolutely huge. Crabomatic, again, if you flip heads, you can flip all the heads in the world. It is just the best deck. Looks like Escape Rope being played. That means resetting the Techno Blast effect on that Mew VMAX. This Mew VMAX can take the knockout. There it is, 220 damage, taking knockout there on the Duraludon VMAX. It might be all she wrote here for the Arceus V player, because again, they don't have any more outs. Right now, it's Arceus V against the world. They do get an energy. They can attach a double turbo. They could find themselves the Arceus V-Star, but Arceus V-Star I don't think has the capability of really taking 6 prizes. This might be one of those games where you might have to call it quits, start from the drawing board and try and think of a new game plan. Or, you know what, just say, I do lose this one, I'm going first this next game. That thing should be much better. Looks like we're going to find ourselves a Raihan here. Raihan could, again, accelerate energy from the discard pile, as well as find any one card from the deck. If I had to guess, that one card is going to be that Arceus V-Star, because that one card is going to turn into 2 cards real quick with a Starbirth V-Star power. Are we going to use it? I'm not quite sure what we need to find here necessarily. Again, the opponent's board is just so threatening. At this point, all they have to do is attach another Fusion Strike energy, and they're essentially taking a knockout on absolutely anything. I think all we can do here is do Trinity Nova, 210 damage, and no more energy in the deck, nothing else to attach. The only way out of this is, oh, there's the boss's orders. Do we have an attack though? Oh, looks like we copied Melodious Echo earlier, so we don't even have to switch. So that is it. There's an attack. That's the knockout. VMAX takes this one very handily and really shows us why it was able to win the Hartford Regional Championship. Again, so much power, so much pressure being applied right away from VMAX. Again, it has the capability to attack turn 1. Let's see if Arceus, Duraludon, Umbreon can turn this one around again. Arceus, Duraludon, Umbreon, I think it's just such an interesting deck. And to me, this is the people's champion to come out of the Hartford Regional Champions. It's just so interesting to see Umbreon VMAX being played again. Would love to see the Umbreon alt art one of these days, just being played in real life. Okay. Here we go, game 2 now of top 8 for the late night number 102. A lot on the line here for both these players. Again, as the Arceus player, all you really need is an Arceus, an energy, and you're pretty much set for the turn. However, looks like we are gonna bench the Umbreon V here. Again, normally you're fine, right? You feel safe. You have your Arceus, you have your energy for the next turn. Normally you feel safe, but not against this specific Mew. Meloetta, again, just a very, very powerful card. Looks like we're going to go ahead and attach that double turbo energy onto the Arceus. I would have liked to see just a normal energy attached there. Ideally, a dark energy, if they could have gotten one, onto the Arceus. That way, even if the Arceus gets knocked out, there is a possibility to Raihan into the Umbreon and attach that double turbo. But again, if this Arceus goes down, it's just gonna be tough. And again, there's no dark energy in hand, unfortunately. Right, so right here looks like it's just gonna be the half a Starbirth coming from a Genesis XP. Again, the Forest Seal Stone, absolutely powerful card. Just gives any Pokemon a V-Star power. Gets to find any one card from their deck, and if I had to guess, it's going to be the Battle VIP Pass. Battle VIP Pass, again, the most powerful card that can be played turn 1. Just find yourself 2 basic Pokemon. I always say this, as long as you can find the Battle VIP Pass on your first turn, you're going to have a good time. And you could possibly see an absolutely explosive turn here. Looks like Hazeo just going through their deck, realizing what resources they have to work with. There it is, Battle VIP Pass finds 2 Pokemon. Looks like it's going to be Genesect and the Mew. Can they bring down their hand? Looks like attachment there onto the Mew. So we're not going to see the Meloetta 210 damage right off the bat here. Looks like the rest of the hand looks unplayable. Only getting 1 card off that Fusion Strike system. That was so risky. And I think if they did play that Battle VIP Pass, they should have gotten 2 Mew Vs. Just because that Mew V on the bench now has a huge target on its head. That's the only attacker on Hazeo's side of the side of the board. And we know for a fact if you can get if you have Arceus V-Star, you can get 2 cards you need. All you need here is the boss's orders, but luckily there is the Ultra Ball being played there. The Plasma Freeze Ultra Ball, superior, an ideal art for sure. That is one of my favorite arts. Escape Rope now being played, forcing the Umbreon to active, just forcing the Arceus player to play to get at least 1 more card, a switch card if they choose to attack here. Fusion Strike system for 1 more. And looks like we're just gonna pass. Leaving the Mew V in the active is a little bit risky as well, but again, we know for a fact that Honey Badger does play Choice Belt, so retreating to a Genesect not ideal in any case. We are gonna just go ahead and attach to this Arceus. The next question is, what supporter do we use? It's gonna be the research, really prioritizing getting more cards. Getting the 1 fighting energy to the discard pile, not too bad there. This hand, not the best, because we didn't really get anything too useful out of the hand besides, of course, this Ultra Ball. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and discard the Radiant Alakazam and the Double Turbo Energy. I don't think Radiant Alakazam is gonna really play a part in this game. Oh, looks like we're prioritizing evolving into the Umbreon VMAX. I like this play. You know what, Umbreon VMAX is going to be one of our main attackers. I don't want to leave the energy on a very, very fragile Pokemon V, right? Once we go into VMAX, at least it has more HP, forces Mew to play more cards if we want to take this knockout. 100% a better turn here. And now, I'm gonna go ahead and Starbirth again. You can Dark Signal on the Umbreon VMAX being played in any case. Just getting the Mew with the Double Turbo Energy. Might as well get more value out of the knockout. Starbirth again, able to find 2 cards from the deck. Switch is going to be one of them. If I had to guess, maybe the next card, another supporter for the next turn. Just because our hand is looking a little bit bare. Could be the Judge, could be another Research, possibly, or even Chorus. Looks like we're getting Single Strike Energy, though. Interesting grab there. Looks like really deciding that, you know what, maybe we don't need anything else in this hand. Just gonna go ahead and Turning Nova, 180 damage on to the Mew V. And just like that, Honey Badger takes the lead here in game 2. Leaving, looks like they're gonna attach 2 Dark Energy, leaving the 1 Fighting Energy in the deck. I think this is, I can see the play now. Looks like they grabbed the Single Strike Energy to pay for the to help power up the Umbreon, leaving the Fighting Energy and Metal Energies in the deck to be able, because before they do the prize, excuse me, they had exactly 1 Fighting and 2 Metal. That is just enough to power up a Duraludon. So I definitely see the plays now. Good play for sure, but looks like they did draw into the Metal Energy off the prizes anyway. Let's see if Hazeo can respond here again. Arceus V-Star, Umbreon VMAX. If you think about it, there shouldn't be enough firepower in the deck to deal with both these cards, right? To be able to knock out Arceus V-Star, you're going to need Choice Belt plus 2 damage modifiers, 2 Power Tablets to do 280 damage. To do 310, you're going to need Choice Belt plus 3 damage modifiers. So there's not enough Power Tablets in the deck, especially since we did use 1 already. Lost vacuuming away a Palpad doesn't feel good either, but sometimes, again, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta thin the hand. We don't even have the Mew VMAX yet to take this knockout. Ideally here, I believe you want to target down the Umbreon VMAX, okay? If you're already committing the power tablets, you want to take a knockout on something that threatens you for another one-hit KO. Trekking Shoes being played now. Just a great way to thin the deck for sure. There's still 30 cards in the deck. There's still a full deck to work with. Looks like we're opting to grab the card. Have to wonder what that card is. Let's see. I believe they only have one Fusion Strike system left to work with. There's still 5 Pokemon in play. No Mew VMAX just yet. If they don't evolve here, the game is just slipping away for sure. There's the escape rope forcing the Umbreon VMAX into the active. I wonder what's in the hand. Again, sometimes that's the problem with the Meloetta version. Boss's orders after the escape rope just to thin the hand, just to draw these 2 more cards. What? Do they get it? Do they get the Mew VMAX? At the very least, that's what you need here. Start putting on the pressure. You miss an attack. If you miss attack, I think the game's just over at that point. And there it is. They do miss it. Quick 2 games here. Again, that's what happens when you play in the highest of calibers. You just realize, you know what? You know those specific scenarios when you just can't win at that point. And, but yeah, looks like we are going to go into a game 3. Let's wait for these opponents. Let's wait for these players, excuse me, to ready up. I have to ask, who do you think has the advantage here? Is it the Arceus, Duraludon, and Umbreon, or is it the sheer power of Mew VMAX and Meloetta? In paper, right? In theory, Mew VMAX. Umbreon VMAX that hits Mew VMAX for weakness, and Duraludon VMAX that essentially walls out the entire deck, does look favored, right? But again, that's just on paper. In practice, when you have to take a turn or 2 to really evolve these Pokemon, to set up the Pokemon by using the Trinity Nova attack to get the energies onto those key Pokemon, those key turns, those first couple of turns are where Mew VMAX shines, right? If Mew VMAX can take key knockouts before the threats evolve, just like we saw in the game 1, Mew VMAX can take it. Mew VMAX can essentially beat any deck as long as they can put the pressure. And that's why Mew VMAX has just been so strong in the format since its inception, really. Looks like we're still waiting for the players. Here we go. Last round, game 3 here for the top 8. The late night number 102. Either way, both these players just making it to top 8 honestly is such a huge accomplishment, especially in the late nights, right? 280 players playing at these events, and you're down to the single digits. Let's see the opening hand here. It's gonna be the Radiant Alakazam. Not too good. We have 2 Duraludon VMAX, 2 Research Choice Belt, and an Energy. Luckily, we are going second, so we have access to Professor's Research. Can you imagine if this is your hand going first? Meloetta just seems so much possible. Looks like Hazeo starting with 2 Genesect V, but naturally has the Battle VIP Pass. Doesn't have to force the Forest Seal Stone, getting both Meloetta and Mew V. Fusion Strike Energy attached to the Meloetta. 1 draw here off the Genesect. If we get another Battle VIP Pass, that would be the most ideal 1-card draw. But again, I was just about to talk about it in that last game. That could be the problem with the Fusion Strike deck, right? You could have a hand of just a completely unplayable cards like Fusion Strike Energy or Less of Sparkle, for example. But Cramomatic, unfortunately getting tails there, but still doing a pretty good job of thinning the hand, drawing another 2 cards. Do they get another Battle VIP? If they could get more Battle VIPs, get more Pokemon in play. Looks like Cramomatic gets Switch. Switch could be a very important card though, but that Switch just turned into a Battle VIP Pass, so that means we can still keep drawing here. If I had to guess, maybe just grab 1 more Genesect and another Mew V, because again, you do want to have 2 Mew Vs in play. Here we go. Last Fusion Strike system. Not really looking for much else. Actually, here you're looking for the Switch that we just threw away, right? As we pass over to the opponent, we do get a judge. Just very risky judge here. Again, just to really protect those two Duraludon Vs, but we don't get a basic here. Things could be over. We do get a basic, but not the ideal one. We didn't get Mew VMAX. Sorry, we didn't get Arceus V. And things might be slipping away. Again, you give Mew VMAX an inch and they take a foot. Because right now, if they can find a switch, if they can find a way to gust up that Duraludon before it evolves, things could get really scary. There's the Fusion Strike energy on to the Meloetta. So right now it's only doing 140 damage. Because there's 2 Fusion Strike energy attached. Looks like they're going to play Penny. That's one way to get Genesect out of the active for sure. So we're confirming that we are going to take this knockout on the Radiant Alakazam. That's pretty good there. Heavy Ball. Let's see Heavy Ball being played. Just shuffling up the prizes. Fusion Strike system one more time. You have to see here that the Fusion Strike systems have been very underwhelming. The draws haven't been the best. We're just going to go ahead and take this knockout. 140 damage. Take one prize here. Promotes the Duraludon VMAX. Sorry, Duraludon V. If we could evolve into Duraludon VMAX right here, right now, it could potentially buy us a couple of turns. Looks like we're going to play the Escape Rope, but Mew V should be an easy send up here. Mew V does have free retreat. It's going to be a big research. We're going to drop the Lost City. Big research here. There's the Duraludon VMAX. We could either slowly power this up, or we could still decide to grab Arceus V. I think Arceus V might be the grab. No, it's going to be just attaching to that Duraludon. Slow and steady is now to play. Not benching anything else. We do have Ultra Ball, but everything in hand seems pretty good. We'd have to Ultra Ball plus maybe the Karen's Conviction. That might be the play here. Again, Boss's Orders is really powerful. No, we're getting rid of the energy. Interesting. We could miss an energy attachment next turn. We might have to grab something like the Laminion. Okay, interesting play. Now we're at the mercy of our top deck, and that's not a position you want to leave yourself in against Mew VMAX. In fact, I would have maybe even decided to grab a Laminion there, just to grab another supporter. I think the way you win this game is you force the Path of the Peak to come down and you just immediately bump the stadium. That involves your opponent making a mistake of attacking when it isn't time, right? I think since Mew here only plays one Path of the Peak, he has only one chance to attack necessarily. If you squander it, if you play it where you don't have the knockout and Duraludon bumps the stadium, that's essentially checkmate. Right. Looks like 2 Mew VMAX, 2 Genesects are ready. All we need here, I believe, is a damage modifier. I'm not sure if one was played already. I'd have to assume not just yet. And again, if you use a damage modifier here, that's a damage modifier not saving for the Duraludon. Oh, but again, I'm sorry. I've just remembered Mew VMAX had an attack Max Miracle in any case, so you can weaken the Duraludon and then finish it off once you have Path of the Peak. So that's always a play, so things are not looking good for the Arceus player. But looks like the Arceus V does survive a turn here. And again, because of the Ultra Ball play, we even miss an energy attachment. I don't know how important Karen's Conviction really was in this matchup. A boss stall is always an option as well. We do know for a fact, I believe a switch was already burned. Penny is out burned as well. But I'm not sure if Escape Rope was played just yet. And of course they have access to Palpat to put the Penny back, or just have a DTE to just manual retrieve the old-fashioned way. Battle VIP Pass, well, whatever out they had, they get it here. And the power of Cramomatic. Flip heads, just get whatever you want. Ooh, all right. Let's see. It took a minute there to decide what to grab. Maybe they don't have the out. That could be a thing. Looks like they grabbed for a Seal Stone. Interesting grab there. I mean, there's a double turbo energy. That's the retreat. That's the knockout on the Arceus V. Again, just Max Miracle should be enough here. Essentially, we two-shotted the Arceus V. Maybe just, again, saving resources for that Duraludon. And this is where I question, again, ditching the Metal Energy a little bit early on, because now we're still 2 energy attachments away from attacking with this Duraludon. If we top deck an energy here, we could have been swinging. There's the Professor's Research. That's a huge top deck. Unfortunately, no Metal Energy. Again, Duraludon VMAX has a very specific attack cost in 2 metal and 1 fighting. Right now, the Single Strike Energy is providing the fighting energy, because Single Strike Energy provides fighting or darkness energy, plus 20 damage, of course. But without the metal, we're just gonna have to pass. Ultra Ball being played now. Discarding Umbreon V and Luminion. Let's see what they decide to grab. They could decide to grab a second Duraludon V here and try and force resources out of the opponent. Maybe get a second Duraludon VMAX. But it looks like it's going to be the Arceus V. I'm not opposed to this play as well. There's the escape rope now being played. And that just a Fusion Strike energy attachment. That means that Melodious Echo is doing 210 damage plus that Choice Bell 240. Easy knockout there on the Arceus V-Star. Opponent now going down to 1 prize. Do you want to check something? They play something like an Echoing Horn. They can even play around the Duraludon. Slide. They don't play the Echoing Horn, so they will have to break through this tower. Looks like Judge was played. Still no Metal Energy for the Duraludon. It's going to have to be a pass here. They could attach the fighting just cuz. Doesn't hurt. Thin the deck, but no, it looks like it's just going to be a pass. 1 power tablet. Alessa's Sparkle. Right now, that Meloetta is doing 340 damage. If it can hit through, they need to find the path of the peak. They have game here if they can attack. Oh, because of the... They don't even have to draw into it. So, again, Forest Sealstone gets the path of the peak. Melodious Echo for 340 damage for the knockout on Duraludon VMAX. Such a commanding game here from the Mew VMAX player. But, again, got to give it up for the Duraludon player. I think that is definitely a tough matchup when your opponent is just swinging hard. You really want to get your evolutions in play. All right, let's head over to the desk while I'll get us another game here. What did you guys think? Again, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by the Mew VMAX deck. That's just I love that Meloetta has just cemented its place once again in the metagame. Let's see if we can get another game. Cool. Right now, no other matches are going on. Let's check out the standings. Again, that was Hazeo winning their top 8 match. So they are going to progress to top 4. We have David Hendrickson against Nathan Ginsburg. Looks like David Hendrickson. Oh, we do have our top 4. Top 4 is Hazeo against David Hendrickson and Ryan Simmons versus Cal Connor. Let's see if we can get a game here. Because if we don't get a top 4 stream, that might be all she wrote for this one, unfortunately. We do depend on the players to share their games, unless, of course, I compete and try and get into top 4 myself. But let's see. But again, just want to talk about that game again real quick. If you miss Hartford, if you miss the action at the Hartford Regional Championship, I think it was pretty much captured there in that game. New VMAX, Meloetta doing 340 damage. There wasn't even, you know, that much of a dig for that to happen, right? It's 4 Fusion Strike energy. They had the time to attach the 4 Fusion Strike energy to get the full effect of the Meloetta, and then just they already had the choice belt anyway, bringing up the damage to 310, and just one power tablet to bring it up to 340 damage, and one Path of the Peak to take the knockout there on a Duraludon. Again, on paper, it looks like Duraludon VMAX Umbreon should have a good matchup, right? But New VMAX just has the tools to deal so much pressure early on, and even later in the game. If you slowed your opponent down just enough, you can put the pieces together to get those big knockouts. Again, just one Path of the Peak. Path of the Peak was prize. I don't think you win that game. Very, very scary. I actually want to see a matchup of just the double turbo Mew versus the Mew VMAX, the Meloetta Mew. Looks like we are going to get a top 4 match here, thanks to good friend of the channel, fellow team member, Calvin Connor, one of the top players of the North America region. Here we go. Let's get to the game. All right, again, we have Cal Connor here playing Lugia V-Star against Lost Box, 2 very established decks in the current format. I just want to pull up some lists real quick before we start talking. And Cal Connor, Lugia V-Star, we all know what it does. You want to get those Archeops in play. You want to start accelerating energy to the Lugia Vs. You want to start swinging. Again, right now, Lugia V-Star, even if it lost a lot of its real power, right? We lost Amazing Rare Evil Top, we lost a lot of the special energies we have to make use of. It still has such a good place in the meta game. Again, being piloted here by one of the best players in North America, Calvin Connor. But he's up against Ryan Simmons, playing Lost Box, Turbo Lost Box without Celebration Coyote. So this is just yeah, again, Turbo Lost Box with the Raikou V, Radiant Greninja. We do see the Dragonite V in play right now. Again, Dragon's Gale does do 250 damage. Just enough, more than enough to take a knockout there on... Oh, just enough, actually, to take a knockout on the Lugia V because of that V-Guard energy. So, one of those cases where Raikou V is just not enough. And right now, we go back to Cal. Honestly, right now, Lugia is not doing enough damage to take a knockout on the Dragonite V. Unfortunately, they're going to have to find something like the Tyranitar, potentially. Yeah, there's the Tyranitar V. Let's see what else they have. They could play the Capturing Aroma. It looks like they're going to go ahead and just Ultra Ball the Nest Ball and this Luminion V. Maybe find themselves the Lugia V-Star at this point. There it is, and try and flip again. Capturing Aroma. When you play this card, flip a coin. If heads, get an evolution Pokemon. If tails, oh, there's already 2 Archeopses in the discard pile. We're okay. Summoning Star coming up. Again, very powerful V-Star power. Find yourself 2 colorless Pokemon, put them into play, and that's how we were able to find these the Archeops. Are we just gonna attack with it, Lugia? We could. Give me a second to think here. Again, Single Strike Crush. We're gonna have to accelerate 2 Single Strike energies onto the Tyranitar, right? That means we have to hard draw into a double turbo energy. Let's see what we get. Looks like it's gonna be Tails. Could find ourselves Radiant Serena. Again, another very important card here with the Elegant Heal ability, where you're just able to heal 20 damage across the board. I'm sure Lost Box wishing they had access to this, because look at all that damage on the board. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and research, leave the possibilities open. And since we did miss out on the double turbo energy, there's just gonna be a primal turbo into the active Lugia. Not too many. There's not that many energies left in the deck, but we should have just enough to attack with Lugia, followed by the Tyranitar. Things are gonna get very scary here. If let's see, Ryan does play one boss sword, right? They can get the boss sword. If they can get the boss onto the Tyranitar, that's one way to take 2 prizes this turn. Tempest Dive there doing 200 damage because of the double turbo energy, not enough to take a knockout on Duraludon. Even if they played 4 normal energies onto that Lugia, it's just 220 damage without access to the powerful colorless energy of the past. Lugia's damage output really has been capped. There it is, the one of boss's orders, bossing up the Tyranitar V, and this Dragonite's just been putting on the work again. It's been able to draw 4 prizes here for Ryan. Definitely doing its job, but look at all that damage across the board. If they were up against another Lost Box deck, they definitely would have been in trouble here. And right now, Cal in a very precarious position. Doesn't have another attacker. They could go into amazing rare. They could go into this Yveltal, right? It does take only 2 energies to attack. They could find themselves. So it's grabbing Minion V. Maybe try and find themselves a Judge potentially. There's the Primal Turbo here, grabbing the 2 single strike energies, and yeah, attaching it to the Yveltal. This should be enough to take the knockout. If you're wondering why Cal here is hesitant to attack with the Lugia V, yeah, if you're wondering why he's hesitant to attack it with the Lugia V, it's because of the threat of Raikou, right? Raikou, something we haven't seen yet, like Lightning Rondo is able to do 20 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon. But more importantly, it's a lightning type Pokemon that can take a big one-hit knockout on the Lugia, and since Ryan only has 2 prizes left, that is a real possibility. Judge being played now, best way to really disrupt the Lost Box player. Well, second to the best ways, but Roxanne would be the best if they had access to it. But right now, just gonna go ahead and take this knockout. Forget the name of this attack, to be honest. Give me 1 second. Would like to figure that out. Dark Cutter. Very cool attack name. Alright, back to Ryan here. Yveltal actually kind of hard to deal with. 130 HP is pretty nice on the Yveltal. Does make it safe from the Lost Mine on the Sableye, and also safe from the Spit Innocently from the Cramorant. So it's actually pretty hard to deal with. They want to take a knockout on this Yveltal. They might have to, they might have to attack with like the Raikou right now. But if you attack with the Raikou, Lugia knocks you out. You could attack with something like their Drapion. That could be interesting as well. Saving the Raikou for the Lugia. But again, that's not Lost Box, right? They have so many options. They have so many flowcharts, so many possibilities. And I'm just here. I'm one caster trying to guess what a player like Ryan Simmons is thinking right now. What he wants to do. Is he could find himself something like a Sableye here. Try and do Lost Mining into the Minion, for example. Set that up for the 2 prize knockout. Again, that in itself also has its own risks. Let's see, because we do know Cal Connor is playing 1 Collapse Stadium, and Ryan should know that as well, since this is an open deck list format. So you have to wonder here, what is the play? Even something like the Moonlight Shuriken isn't the safest play either, but something I wasn't expecting was a pass there. 8 cards in hand. Again, that's off a Judge. See here, Capture Roma being played, just grabbing 1 more Archeops. attaching the V-Guard energy there onto the Archeops as well. Big research here. Let's see what they can find. A lot more Pokemon. It's just gonna be another Dark Cutter here for the knockout onto the Comfey. You get 90 damage boost because it is boosted by those single strike energies. We have 2 boss's orders, a judge. This hand is looking good. We know for a fact our opponent can't boss anymore. They only play 1 boss's orders. They have to deal with this Eviltal at some point. In fact, they might want to have to deal with it right now again. They need, despite the absolutely amazing start here from Ryan, but I think Cal's actually clawing their way back. They're down to 3 prizes. There's a Drapion in play, so Cal here can win in 2 more turns. Ryan has to piece it together. Technically, it's their turn. They can win in 2 turns as well, but it involves doing action right here, right now. Very unfortunate pass in the last turn, because even something like a Spit Innocently would have been great this turn, right? That means you're doing damage onto the Eviltal. You have the possibility to knock it out this turn. But right now, again, it's putting so much pressure. 130 HP. No clear way to really knock it out besides the Drapion. Pokestop being played. Wait. Okay. For a second there, I thought we could see a potential. We could have seen a potential. Give me 1 second. Oh, they do have Palpad. Did they draw back into the boss's orders? There's a switch card onto the Raikou. Did I miss something here? Did they play Palpad? There's the boss's orders for the knockout on the Luminion. More than enough damage to take the knockout here. So that's what Ryan was doing. They were biding their time. That was my fault. I did not see the Palpad there. In my mind, I was thinking 1 boss's orders isn't enough to close this out. But again, Palpad just able to turn into more copies of your 1-of supporter. And just like that, Ryan Simmons is 1 more game closer to making it to the finals of the Late Night 102. Cal Connor has to be thinking right now, how do I change up the gameplay? What do I have to do to take this win? We are going to be able to go first this game too. You have to think again, Ryan, the Dragonite was just put in too much work, right? The fact that they had to 2-shot the Dragonite, I think, was the key turn in that game, and it just came down to not being able to draw the double turbo. This is where I'm sure Lugia players wish they had that free pivoting Pokemon so you could go into more ideal attackers. But let's see what they open up with. Pumpkaboo. Not ideal. 60 HP is not a lot, especially in the face of Lost Box. You do get at least the Lugia V here, right? Let's see. Capture Aroma being played now. Flipping a coin. It is heads. We can find ourselves at least 1 Archeops here. And we also get to go through the deck again. Going through that hand here, we do have the Professor's Research, so we are able to discard the Archeops this next turn, finding the Lugia V. I'll go ahead and do the deck check here. Serena is in play, as we have access to Serena. We have more Archeopses. Burnett is in the deck as well. A lot of good cards. Again, just determining what resources I have to work with here. But yeah, Lugia V gonna be that main grab. What is scary, what could happen, I'm very curious if they can, is if Ryan can get the turn 1 Dragonite, that would be game winning. Right now, there's only 1 Lugia in play. This deck does not function without that Lugia. Without Summoning Star, you can't get Archeops. Without Archeops, you can't accelerate your energy. And if there was a deck that can attack turn 1, get 7 cards into the Lost Zone turn 1, and I'd have to guess it is Ryan's. I'm gonna think of what that involves though. Okay, so right now there's 3 comp phase in play, 3 potential flower selecting, 3 potential cards in the lost zone, 2 battle VIP passes being played here. Turn 1. If they even have Chorus in hand, just naturally things could get scary. Looks like they're just grabbing the one Radiant Greninja, so maybe 1 Comfey prize there. So flower selecting, flower selecting, flower selecting. They can get all 3. That's 3 cards in the lost zone. Chorus is 5. They can get themselves the, was that Dragonite? Did Dragonite just hit the lost zone? There's a Chorus experiment. Again, Chorus, great way to fill up your hand and fill up the lost zone. Sorry, I lost my thread. Oh, it wasn't a Dragonite there being sent to the lost zone. So maybe Raikou is the play here. Oh, Raikou is much easier to set up in any case. There's the escape rope. That's one part of the puzzle. Now the Lugia is in the active, and you get a Comfey onto the active. There's 3 cards in the lost zone here. Flower selecting should put it up to 4. If they can retreat to the other Comfey and find themselves the Raikou plus the Forest Seal Stone, find Forest Seal Stone plus a Lost Vacuum. That's 7. That's a way to get 7. There's the switching card there. Another flower selecting being played. This makes it 5. Did I just see an energy recycler hit the disc lost zone? A lot of key cards. There's the Raikou. Forest Seal Stone. Are we gonna see it? Ryan needs to find Lost Vacuum, Mirage Gate, and a way to switch. 3 cards. Forest Seal Stone gets you 1 of them here. It's gonna have to start with Lost Vacuum, because without Lost Vacuum, you can't Mirage Gate. 7 cards in the hand. There's the Lost Vacuum. Discarding, send 1 card to the Lost Zone, send a tool or stadium to the Lost Zone. Right now, there's 7 cards. There's a Mirage Gate. Right now, all they need is Mirage. All they need is a way to switch. And I believe that's enough to take the lot. Wait, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be enough. Oh no, you Mirage Gate into the Comfey because they have the Lightning Energy in hand. Or they could still draw with the Fleet-Footed. If they don't have Lightning Energy in hand, they could still draw with the Fleet-Footed. That could be a huge gamble here. No, they do have the basic Lightning. And I believe that's knockout on Lugia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 20 plus. Gonna Fleet-Footed here. See what else they have to play, but I think that's just the end of the game. Just the power. 240 damage there on the Raikou. Raikou, again, that's the downside of the hand, unfortunately. They did get a Lugia, but only 1 of them. Now back to Calvin Connor. They do have another Lugia in play. Gonna have to play this research. Can't get themselves a second Lugia, so they could. They're not out of it just yet. And just a pass here. Let's see. Does Ryan have the boss? If Ryan has the boss here, he can take another 2 prizes. Soon have your ball being played. Let's see what's in the prizes. Looks like nothing important. But wow. Again, turn 1 Mirage Gate. Like turn 1 Fleet-Footed. Turn 1 Lightning Rondo. Who knew that was possible without something like the Scoop Up Net? I think losing Scoop Up Net was such a huge blow to Lost Box, but Ryan and all the Lost Box players, honestly, just showing me we don't need it. Okay, let's see here. Right now, Ryan does have knockout on the Pumpkaboo, but looks like they're digging a little bit more. Flower Secting being played now. See what they can get. Again, I like that there are trekking shoes too in this Lost Box. It's just very, very much, very turbo. No shenanigans here. 3, 4 Seal Stone, 2 Pokestop, and no funny stuff, no celebration Kyogre. They just want to be able to really exert the pressure really fast, and that's exactly what they've been able to do here. That's exactly what they've been able to showcase. But right now, if they only take a knockout on a Pumpkaboo, they go down to 3. It's not too bad. That's a huge prize lead on Lugia V, but again, they could lose their Raikou here. They do have multiple ways to get it back, and some stuff like Clara to be able to take another 2 prizes on a Lugia V maybe later on. Or we could attack with a Cramorant, force our opponent to have the boss's orders, to have the Gust on the Raikou. Mirage Gate being played once again here. It might just have to be a Mirage Gate to retreat, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Not the most ideal use of the Mirage Gate, but it is one of the uses there. Lightning energy and water energy being attached now. There's retreat to the Cramorant. Again, as long as you have 4 cards in Lost Zone, you can spit innocently for no cost. Take a knockout there on the Pumpkaboo. Ryan going down to 3 prizes, still has access to the Raikou as well. Cal here could play the Collapse Stadium, forcing but no, I was thinking they could have lowered the bench size, but when you're gonna have to use Summoning Star anyway, that adds 2 more Pokemon to the bench, so there's no playing under the Raikou's attack. Have to wonder if it's even worth playing that Collapse Stadium, because you also bench lock yourself. So we're gonna go ahead and accelerate 2 V-Guard energy onto the Archeops. Archeops, again, another viable attacker here. Could be key. Looks like that's exactly what we're going with. Again, does have access to Speedwing for 120 damage, just enough to take a knockout there on the Cramorant. Plays a Collapse Stadium anyway. Lower the bench size for both players to 4. And just gonna go ahead and Speedwing 120 damage onto the Cramorant. Gonna take a prize here. Is there a very important prize? Looks like Calvin just going for the prize card shuffle. Doesn't get a good one. Back over now to Ryan. Again, Ryan in a pretty good spot. They should be able to take a knockout on this Archeops, but they're going to have to use the Raikou, right? Archeops, 150 HP. Sableye not going to cut it. Cramorant's not going to cut it. They're going to have to use a Raikou. I think that's exactly what Cal wants them to do, so that they themselves could attack into the Raikou and then play this Pivotal Judge. Have to give Cal huge props here in having the patience of holding on to that Judge for this turn. Again, they want to be able to take a knockout on a threat, right? I think that's what Cal is trying to do at the moment. Take a knockout on the Raikou, follow it up by Judge to make it a little bit that much harder to set up a second attacker. Versus if they just judged the previous turn, they already had the Raikou ready. They already had a knockout all set up. Escape rope being played now. Not the most ideal escape rope, because again, you're not taking a knockout on the Archeops, but they could have access to boss's orders here. That would be huge. Boss's orders does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should be enough to take a knockout. There it is. Boss's orders on to the Lugia V. Cal is going to be in a tough spot. Again, Ryan only has to take 1 more prize to take the game. Lightning Rondo there, 320 damage is the knockout. Looks like we're going to the Archeops. Draws into the double turbo, playing the Judge first, forcing the opponent's hand to a lower hand size. Definitely good. Do we have enough resources in the deck to finish it out? I have to wonder if they have enough energies here. Might have to attack with the Dragon Knight. Let's see what they have. Primal Turbo. Yeah, it looks like they had to attack with the Dragon Knight here because there's only double turbos left in the deck to power up the Lugia, and that would lower Lugia's damage output to a little bit too much, right? 2 double turbos means you're minus 40, you're only doing 220, that's not enough. You're only doing 180 damage, not enough to take a knockout on the Raikou, so it had to be this Tyranitar. And again, very, very hefty attack there, but very big damage, 260 damage after all the damage modifications, but you have to discard the top 4 cards of your own deck. Back to Ryan. Ryan only has to take 1 prize here, but all the Pokemon in play are very big Pokemon. Tyranitar has 230 HP, Lugia has 280. The lowest HP Pokemon is Serena with only 140. And if you don't take a big one-hit knockout, Serena has the Elegant Heal again to heal up. But Clara being played now, able to grab 2 basic Pokemon, 2 basic energy from the discard pile. Could get back that Raikou. If they grab Raikou here and powered up and have the Escape Rope, I believe that's a knockout on anything in play. So that could be the game-winning move here. Ryan still has 3 turns to find that move as well, because again, right now there's only single prize Pokemon in play. As long as you don't drop a V, it's going to take Calvin Connor 3 more turns. Looks like Sableye being dropped again. Great attacker here in the Lost Box deck with the Lost Mine attack, spreading 120 damage across the board. Able to set up those knockouts. In fact, if you can have 2 Sableye, if you can attack Sableye, if you can attack with Sableye back to back, you win this game. You can't Elegant Heal enough. You can't Elegant Heal enough damage. As long as Cal puts it all onto one Pokemon. Clash Stadium's already in play. They have to put it onto like an Archeops just to be safe, because you also can't penny an evolution Pokemon. See the cards being played. Just drawing 2 more cards. Only 12 cards left in the deck. Deck out also isn't a possibility here, unfortunately. No Psychic Energy in the... There's 1 Psychic Energy in the Lost Zone. Ryan does only play 2 Psychic. So after this Sableye gets knocked out, they'd have to play Clara. Here we go, Lost Mine. I think what Cal has to do here, he has to use Cragalanche. Cragalanche does only 60 damage, but is boosted here by the single strike energies. Plus, it does hit Sableye for weakness. But more importantly, Cragalanche discards the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. If you can discard the exact resource that they need, Cal still has a chance here. I did see, we know there's 1 Clara in the discard pile. If the Clara isn't in hand, they could potentially discard it here. There's another single strike energy. Ideally here, they would have wanted to... Yeah, there still should be 1 more Clara. If it's in hand, that could be a problem. So I think ideally here, they would have wanted to judge, just to make sure that if it was in the hand, it just gives it a chance to put it into the deck. We're going to use Elegant Heal here, healing that Archeops up to just 50 HP again. Lost Mine should be able to take this knockout. Going for the boss's orders on to the Radiant Greninja. Just going for the Cragalanche. Discarding Energy Recycler and Mirage Gate. Interesting play here. Because now all they need is a switch, and that is the game. Have to wonder why we didn't go for just the knockout on this Sableye. But there it is, Lost Mine. Takes the... Lost Mine putting damage on the Archeops, and that's going to be more than enough here for Ryan Simmons to advance to the finals of the Late Night 102. Good game. That was game 3, so Cal Connor did win game 1 there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see it. Let's go ahead and head back to the caster desk. How's it going, everyone? All right. Thank you again to Calvin Connor, again, one of the best players of the game, for streaming their match. Let's see if we can get our final here. Other side of the bracket. So again, Ryan Simmons, it does progress to the finals. Still waiting on this other side of the bracket. Hazeo against David Hendrickson. David Hendrickson is up 1 game on Hazeo. Has David Hendrickson playing Lost Box as well? We could potentially see a Lost Box mirror while Hazeo is playing the new Meloetta we did see earlier. Alright, chat, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break right before the final, and they'll try and get the final match for everyone. So don't go anywhere. Looks like we do have our final here. It's going to be David Hendrickson against Ryan Simmons. A lost box mirror. So let's see if we can get that game for you guys. If we can't, we're going to have to call it a night here. So David's playing on the phone. Oh, looks like that might be it. Unfortunately, sorry for the wait, everyone. But we tried. Would love to do a lost box mirror. That'd be great practice for sure. Long games, same deck, flower selecting, counting damage, proper damage placement, proper sequencing. A lot to go. There's a lot in the lost box mirror. Again, lost box, one of the hardest decks to play, but at the same time, it's because there's so many options, so many things open up during that gameplay. Would have loved to get that practice. All right, let's head over to the desk here. Whew, what a night. Again, we got treated to some very, very spectacular games, some of which, again, by some of the best players in the game. Cal Connor, looking at you. Thank you again. But yeah, again, my name is PrimeTimeWizardTv from the Shuffle Squad. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to check out our sponsors down below. By supporting the sponsors, you're supporting the Shuffle Squad. By supporting the Shuffle Squad, you're supporting Late Night, and that means we can have more events, more prizing, and just more awesome Pokemon games. Alright, I think that's going to be it here. Just going to give it a couple of seconds. Maybe people change their mind and we get a game. No. Alright. Again, I'll see you all next weekend. Don't forget, Late Night every Tuesday, 4 p.m. PDT anyway. I'm sure it's different for the different time zones for sure. Alright, that's it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Thank you.